Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer.com. Today on our 2018 Dodge Journey, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT Class 3 2-inch trailer hitch receiver. Now, one of the things that kind of separates this hitch from some of the others is that it's going to be a little more visible. But however, there is an upside to that, and that's going to be it's going to be a little more user-friendly. It's going to be easier to use. It's going to take less effort to get any of our accessories connected or disconnected. Since this is a Class 3 hitch, it's going to have that 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, and it's also going to have a reinforced collar for a little extra strength. It's also going to have a 5/8 size pinhole, which does accept the standard 5/8 pin and clip, which does not come included. However, if you need one, you can find it here at etrailer.com. Now, the safety chain openings are going to be a plate style. They're going to be quite large and open enough to use just about any size hook that we might have without interfering with our pin. Now, many of our customers wrote in and said even after a year, the finish on our hitch is holding up really nicely. They also really like the fact that now they can carry their bikes or cargo on them long journeys while freeing up space on the inside. Our hitch is going to give us some pretty good weight capacities. As far as the maximum tongue weight rating, it's going to be 400 pounds. So that's going to be the amount of weight pushing down on our hitch. So that's going to be perfect for those 2 and 3 bike racks. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, that's going to be 4,000 pounds for the amount of weight pulling on our hitch. So the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have on it. Now, it is always a good idea to check with your Dodge's owner's manual to make sure your Journey can pull that much weight. This hitch can also be used with the weight distribution system, which is a separate component. But keep in mind, even if you use that, the hitch's weight capacities are going to remain the same. Now, if you do plan on using your hitch to do a little bit of towing, I would recommend picking up some trailer wiring. That way you can remain safe and legal. And if you use any hitch-mounted accessories that like to rattle around and make noise in your connection point here, I'd recommend the Let's Go Arrow anti-rattle hitch pin to help eliminate that. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of measurements. You're going to use these to help you figure out which hitch-mounted accessories will work best. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, that's going to be about 13.5 inches. You're going to use that measurement to figure out if you need to get a ball mount with either a drop or a rise. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of our rear bumper, that's about 3 inches. You're going to use that measurement to figure out if any of your folding accessories you might have can be stored in the upright position without hitting our back bumper. Many of our customers really like how easy it is to install the hitch, and speaking of which, let's go ahead and do it together now. To begin our installation, we're going to need to lower our exhaust, but before we do that, I'm going to run a strap from side to side to help support it, that way it doesn't get damaged. Now, if your exhaust has a strap running from here to there, we're going to need to pop it off. And so I'm just going to use a pry bar to do that. Or you can use a flat head, that'll work too. We'll just get underneath it. Once we have it broke free, if it isn't wanting to come off, we'll just grab it and push it off like that. Now we're going to have to take down 3 rubber isolator hangers. There's going to be one here, right behind our muffler. And if we come towards the back, we're going to have 2 more, one on each side. Now, to get those removed, what I did was I sprayed them down with some lubricating oil to help make it a little easier. We're just going to take our pry bar, we'll work it behind that hanger. Once we have it off, kind of push it down and out of the way. I'm going to use that same technique for the remaining 2 hangers. Now we're able to use our strap to lower our exhaust a little bit. Now I'd like to point out where our attachment points are going to be to hold the hitch in place. And now keep in mind too, everything is going to be same on each side from this point on. Our attachment points are going to be these two round holes in the frame rail. And then there's going to be another round hole on our back bumper support tube. Now we can get our hardware in place. Now the way that we're going to get it up inside of our bumper support and our frame rail is called the fishwire technique. So we'll start with this hole in our bumper support. We're going to take the coiled end of our fish wire, feed it through that hole, and push it to the side of the vehicle. And that coiled end will come out right here. Now we're going to take one of the large spacer blocks and slide that on first. We're going to take a carriage bolt and thread that onto our wire. Now we can fish our hardware through the side, pull on the other end to get it to drop out like that. Now we can very carefully remove our fish wire by unthreading it. Now I'm going to use the fish wire technique to get our hardware into these two holes in our frame rail. Put the coiled end through our hole, push it towards the back of the vehicle to get it to drop out. Then we're going to use one of our smaller spacer blocks. Slide that over, and once again take one of our carriage bolts and get that threaded on. I can fish all that back into the frame rail, drop it down, and finally remove our fish wire. We're going to do the same thing for this opening here, except this time, once we have our hardware drop through, we're going to leave our fish wire on. Now our hitch is going to require the use of a wedge on one end of it. We're going to want to put it over this opening here, closest to the receiver tube opening. You want to make sure that that thick part of the wedge is facing this way as well. Well, instead of trying to fight it while we're holding the hitch up, I'm just going to tape it into place, and that way it'll make it a little easier. So I'll line our holes up, and just take some packing tape, or whatever you have handy. Just kind of lightly tape it down, keep it in place. Now the other side of our hitch is going to require the same thing, so don't forget to do both sides. Now with an extra set of hands, we can put our hitch in place. We will put our fish wire through the corresponding holes in our hitch, go over the muffler, and line everything up. Now we're going to secure it using a flange nut. Just be careful not to push up too hard. That way we don't accidentally push that hardware back into the frame rail. We'll get one side started. It's a good idea to get at least one going on each side. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of them. Now if you're having a little bit of trouble getting your nut started because the bolt is loose and wants to come up, one of the tricks you can do is take a flathead screwdriver and kind of push it against that bolt to keep it steady. That way we can get our nut started. With all of our hardware in place and hand tight, we can now snug it down. With everything snugged down, we can now use a torque wrench to torque it all down to the proper specification. You can find that torque spec in your instructions. With everything torqued down, we can now raise our exhaust back into position and rehang it the opposite way that we removed it. Don't forget, if you have this clip, go ahead and put that back on as well. Now with the exhaust supporting itself, we can remove our strap. And that'll do it for our look at and our installation of the CURT Class 3 2-inch trailer hitch receiver on our 2018 Dodge Journey.